Now you can show me.
Okay, so now we're live, and
Oh,
let me go
this
to
is red.
YouTube and switch that on. Go live. Instagram, done. Okay, now going to this and chat and launch chat. Let's see, where is
What did it show you? I'm feeling of it. Like the elevator music. No. I don't know why I have that song in my head. I probably. What did it show you?
let's see. All right.
Oh,
And
look at that. I can see myself singing in delay on TikTok. Wait, why don't we do that?
wait, why?
Hi, everybody.
Hey everybody. One, two. Is it on TikTok? Is it on TikTok?
I've got us on TikTok.
Okay. Let me see. I'm waiting for the chats to show up. The chat is ready to display messages.
I'm
Okay.
seeing some messages coming in on TikTok. Hello, everyone. Hello.
Okay.
I'm making a mistake of drinking a carbonated beverage before I go on a live with a microphone. So I hope I don't belch.
Okay. There it goes. And then streaming and TikTok live monitor. Okay. There we go. Cool. Oh, there we go.
Seen some questions coming in. Oh, thank you, some of you. I mean, thank you, all of you. But I'm seeing
See.
some compliments popping in on the chats. Thank
See.
you.
All right. There we go. Let's see. All right. Uh trying to see if hi everybody. Can y'all hear okay? Is everything clear? Let's see. I know somebody's saying that it's echoing, but I'm not hearing echoing on my end.
I know somebody's saying that it's echoing, but I'm not. Okay, well, when I turn the
I can
volume
hear
up
it.
on my phone, I can hear it on
That's
TikTok.
why, because it's my through your TikTok. That's why.
What? No, no, no. I just turned the volume up, so there's no way you could have heard it before.
Okay. Yes, I can hear.
And
Okay.
what have I told you about correcting me in public, babe?
um, are y'all
Wrong company
hearing?
rules here, you know?
Are y'all hearing us clearly? And is it echoing or it's not echoing? I don't just say yes or no. Say yes, it's echoing, or no, it's not echoing. I just want to make sure y'all can hear clearly. It's fine now? Okay. Yes, I can hear.
Yes, in you.
No, it's not.
Hello.
Perfect. All right, good. Good. That's what I needed to hear. Thank you. Thank you all. All right, cool. Hey everybody. Happy Thursday. One more day and it's like the weekend.
It's
So
Thursday.
yeah. Yeah. And then one more day. And then it's the weekend. Um okay, cool.
That's a weird angle. I should do that.
All right, cool. All right. I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't even know what I'm doing. What are we doing? Are we doing readings?
We're doing some readings.
We're doing some readings. Okay. Hey, everybody, we're doing readings. So go ahead and put your questions in the comment section below. I need a favor. Three things. One, make sure you are following both Blaine and I. It doesn't matter what platform you are on. If you are on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or Facebook, make sure that you follow us. So wherever you're seeing us at, make sure you're following, pushing the follow button, whatever that looks like to you. The second thing I need y'all to do is to heart this message, like push the heart button a bunch of times because we need to get that engagement. So if you can start hearting the shit out of this live, that would be great. Third thing is the little arrow at the bottom, somewhere at the bottom. Tap that arrow, or it's over here, maybe it's over here. Well, tap that arrow and then share this feed out with folks. That way, people will be aware that we are on as well, because that'll help us get our numbers up. And we are trying. Yeah. Calm down, calm down. We are trying to grow our numbers, and that is going to be helpful. And where is, there we go. Trying to switch over so I can see the live feed as well. Yes. Okay. And then that, got it. And then that. Perfect. All right. Lastly, follow, heart.
Babe, put your arm up at the bottom of your screen because you're wearing a light shirt. No one can see. No one can see the text.
Oh yeah.
See, like where you put your stuff, your tags.
Watch this.
I mean, if you all are on here, you probably have Ferny's tags already. So
watch this.
Ooh.
Whoops.
What'd you do? Yeah, I'm watching that. Look at that.
Let's see.
You got cocky out there. Did y'all see him? You got cocky.
There we go.
That's
there we
happens.
go. Okay, now you should be able to see me. Now you should be able to see me. Okay. So hearts, share, follow, put your question in the comment section below. Be specific. Get to the point. Don't overshare when it comes to your question. And what I mean by that, if you are asking to connect with the loved one in spirit, I just need to know the connection you want to make. I don't need you to share extra information. Here's the difference between oversharing and what I actually need. What I need you to do is to just clarify. I would like to connect to my father, please. Or I would like to connect to my mother, please. Or I would like a message from my brother. That is what I mean by just something very clear. So I know who you're trying to connect to and I can focus on that connection. Oversharing is, hi, can you connect to my Aunt Sylvia? She died of cancer and it was in March at some point. We actually shared the same birthday, but if you can share anything about her, that would be greatly appreciated. That's oversharing. Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing my job for me? And also, why are you robbing yourself of the opportunity to have validation that they're still with you? Because those are details that I could potentially come up with to give to you. So I don't need you to overshare on that end. I just need you to let me know who you want to connect with. If you want to ask a question, a life question, be specific, get to the point. A life question can pertain to whatever you want it to pertain to. Do I have the herpes? That's a specific question. Are my finances going to get better in the next year? Or what do my finances look like in the next few months? Like, those are more directed questions. And so that's what I mean by specific. I'm not talking about like giving me all this like, extra stuff, but just get to the point. So that way we have an idea of what you would like to connect with. If you are not planning on staying in the chat or staying here to wait if we pick you, then that's on you. You'll probably have to come back and try to figure out if we actually answered your question, but stay a while. We're pretty entertaining. I know I'm funny. So babe, are you funny?
Well, I just whipped out herpes as the first thing on the top of your head. So I guess we may have some follow-up questions when we're off the live, I think I would have to say.
So so just get to the point, be specific. That's what it's about. Okay, so we'll get started here. And also, if you want a private session and you want to ask your question here, go to our websites, either fernandobarone.com or Blaine Patrick Smith. I also have a book out right here. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles.
I'm almost done with it. It's really good. I'm enjoying it.
The fact that he's enjoying reading it, the fact that he's enjoying reading it is really nice. Just because he's very critical and he has He's
In fact, I will call him at the end of every chapter, and
yeah,
I should be better about leading off with "I love you, I'm proud of you, I'm amazed by this," but I go right into the like, "I think you would never use this word. Like this word's not like,"
yeah,
because that's just where my mind goes. Because I want everything to be good, and
yeah.
not that it's not good. I want everything. I'm always like, "Oh, here's how I would," and then also like, "Oh, I wanted more of this. Why didn't you include?" Like, I want more stories of like. Anyway, so
Hmm.
it's very fun. It's a very easy read. I'm enjoying doing it just like chapter by chapter.
Yeah.
And there, it was nice. Is like it's a great. I'm reading it while I have lunch most days, and so I can usually just pop out a chapter while I'm eating, and it's great. I love it. So please enjoy it and see if you can tap into your own skills, your own intuitive gifts. Because you'll see he may challenge me on this live as he's done in the past of like, okay,
Me?
put your cards down and now like what are you really seeing? So when he gives
Me?
you like practical, yeah, you herpes, you you're just you're like, what is going on? Um
That's funny. You're funny, babe.
yeah,
Funny. All
so
right.
see, an entertaining show,
Okay.
watchable, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I'm trying to talk him into starting a podcast with me. It's funny because I got my own podcast, but then I'm doing one with my friend Stouffer, and then I've been wanting to do a podcast with Poppy, and he's like not really
This like
been.
herpes is the first I'm hearing about this, folks. You heard it before
That's a
me.
damn. That is a fucking lie. That is a fucking lie.
Well, sorry, maybe on our second date when you're cooking me, you made me dinner and then you made us record our conversation so you could send it to your producer friend. I'm like, okay, can I just have seconds, please?
that
But,
was funny. That was actually funny. That's funny. Okay,
all right,
so
y'all. Happy
ready?
to see some names I know. So thank you. Welcome back.
Perfect. All right, so let me go ahead and start. Here we go. Oh, what? Why didn't it show the? Oh, that's weird. Let's see. Here we go. Let's try this again. Huh.
Did you switch the ink color
Oh, I
based on
sure did. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Color
did I get
background.
it?
Hold on. There we go. I don't know what that
I just
was.
want everyone to know that whenever there's a tech issue, it is never me who knows how to fix it. It is always he's very good at tech. Yeah, I want points for that, please. I deserve points for that.
All right, so we got Eliquizada,
Mhm.
Eliquizada. Should I stay at my job? Should I stay at my new job? So she's asking, should she? First of all, we're not going to tell y'all what to do because y'all have put your big girl panties on because y'all need to make your own damn decisions because I ain't got nobody making my own damn decisions for me. However, we can tell you what we see happening or what the vibe is around it. So when it comes to the job, baby, are you seeing it, like energy wise, like does she look like she's going to be happy there? Or is it going to be something that's good for her? Or
Okay, so six of coins is what I pulled. And so this one is about like the flow of resources and about like giving and receiving. And if you give generously, you will receive graciously. And it does say like that it encourages people to keep that flow of resources going, that is how the world works. That's how we operate in our best ways by not hoarding our wealth, but giving when we can. So this is an even number. And I always take even numbers to mean stability, and it is, as we see here, it is a circle. Um, and so it could tell me that feels like a positive, like your new job. I mean, maybe if it's a new job, like if you just started there, here's the thing. The card's telling me like, yes, it's going to feel like a cycle. Like you're not going to know.
Mhm.
Sometimes you're going to feel up at it. Sometimes you're going to feel down at it, but like, it's going to keep the cycle flowing. But from the human point of view, like of just reading you as a person, if you're asking this question around a new job, it sounds like you're not happy there. So I'm gonna pull another card while Fernie talks around maybe what you should do about that feeling that you're not happy there. Um, because I feel like if you probably, it was probably not an easy, like all jobs are not easy to get generally.
Yeah.
So it took some time, it took some effort, it took some change of resources. It create change in your life, which is never easy. And so that you are asking the question right now tells me that you're not feeling great about that decision. So maybe what are you seeing? I'm going to pull like an action card.
Yeah, I do see you staying with the same company. I don't see you staying in the same position. I think that you went in with some unrealistic expectations. The thing about it is, and this is something that I've learned a long time ago, and I used to tell my employees at Starbucks, if you have issues when you're walking away, I'll give you some more. Don't you worry. I'm gonna give you some more. If you are dealing with drama at work, or if you're not happy, or if you're just going through a cyclical pattern where you're repeating the same kind of energy regardless of jobs, which I feel like you keep walking into a dumpster fire where things don't seem to be working the way that they're set up, and you feel like you're getting the butt end of the stick and having to clean up somebody else's mess, which I feel is the case repeatedly. I also think sometimes you got to be careful with the way that you express yourself, because I feel that sometimes people don't get where you're coming from, and instead they feel like you're being either you're being critical or you're just simply complaining. And I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think that you're actually trying to bring attention to things that need to be worked on, or that maybe need to be addressed differently, changed, and so forth. So I think that's an issue. But I feel like the way you're coming across is being misinterpreted. So you got to work on that, because if more than once is that if that's happening, I feel like that's just a pattern that is showing up, especially when you just express yourself a certain way and it's just not being taken the way that you thought. So change your strategy there. But to come back to what I was trying to say, if you are going into a new job and you just left a horrible job situation or something that you're really unhappy with, and every single time you find yourself working for a company or working in a position and you're having the same kind of energy cycle back in, where you're feeling a certain way, you're rethinking a certain way, you're reliving the same like mood around it, all you're doing is you're actually sending that energy like a wave into your future. So it doesn't matter if you leave the current job, you're going to walk right back into the same bullshit, because you got to clear your energy out before you go to the next situation. That doesn't mean that you're going to turn something that's made out of clay into gold. What I'm saying is you have to get out of the mindset of this is horrible. Why am I suffering? Why is the universe doing this to me? Why does this never work out for me? Why? Stop that, because that's not helping to align you with a better working situation. So that's something that I would recommend that you really, really, really pay attention to. You should probably watch The Secret, because this is something that I've said before and I'm saying it again. You need to clear your energy out before you go to the next job. That doesn't mean you have to love your current situation. It just means you can't be like just wrapped up in these lower vibratory energy states, these lower mindsets, these lower like moods, because that's not helping you. That way, when you walk out of that situation, you're walking out clean and clear and under control. And then you're walking into a new situation that is hopefully going to work better for you and is an improvement. But it takes time for things to improve, and it is going to be gradual. Don't expect miracles overnight. With that being said, to answer your question, because I know you were asking me, like, Fernie, I don't need your life advice. I'm going to repeat the same mistakes I keep repeating. So I don't care about the mistake repeating process. I'm happy with that part. Am I going to get another job? I get what you're trying to say, because that's what you want to know. The answer to that is no. I don't think you're going to leave your current job. I think you're going to stay with the current company, but I see you moving to a different part of the company or a different position or department within 3 months. I also think there's someone that you might talk to or meet, may actually become friends with at your job, who's going to make that happen for you or help you with that process. So that's what I'm kind of getting.
So as he started talking, I pulled transformation, and in hearing how he is, and maybe this is making the cycle here make sense, is transformation. You might need to. It's kind of what Fernie was saying. It's like when we go on vacation, sometimes it's like, oh, I want to get away from all my troubles and all my problems, and I'm going to go to Italy for 2 weeks. Well, you're just going to take those problems with you, because not to put it bluntly, but like you're the problem. And I mean that in the nicest way. But if you need to start focusing on the stuff with you, how do you react to situations? How can you? This is transformation. So it's a butterfly, and I love that this image, but like
Mhm.
I think we sometimes think that a butterfly, like it goes in its little it's caterpillar, goes in its little cocoon, and like, oh, wings sprout, and like the body kind of shrinks and antenna grow. No, it's been proven that like a caterpillar will basically dissolve down to almost nothing but eyeballs and a couple of like major organs, and then it will have to reform from this goo into a butterfly or a moth or whatever. I'm saying that transformation, it is not as easy as we think it is. It's sometimes painful. transition, transformation, um, moving ourselves to that next level of our development, of our evolution. It doesn't just happen. We have to make it happen and we have to support it. And we also have to just give ourselves some grace if the transition, if we feel like we're getting stuck in cycles and the transformation is not happening automatically. Be nice to yourself, but also, I think, look at yourself, how you're reacting in work situations. Um, that might be giving you a sense of wanting to move on or to leave some place you just got to. Like it's always, like we carry our shit with us from chapter to chapter. It's only when we start addressing how we are dealing with the world that we can begin to understand it and move past some.
Yeah. Um, Also, an add on to that, even if you change positions or areas within the company, I also think at some point you're going to end up working for a transportation company or a company that deals with transports of goods and services. So I feel like there's a transportation company that's going to come up, but you'd be working on the admin side of that at some point. So just FYI with that. All right. Next question. Let's see. Mm, this one's on TikTok.
Sorry, dear. By the way, I was coming in, not you, babe, but our last friend. I was coming in hot off of that one, so forgive me if that wasn't as kind as Fernie is the bad cop and I'm the nice cop, and so sometimes
You know what
sometimes
though?
we
No, you know
sometimes
what,
we pick
baby?
it up.
I
What is that?
of course, mama. You're welcome. No, you know what? Sometimes, even though I think there's room and a place for gentle, like nurturing energy,
Mhm.
sometimes you got to just hit somebody across the face with it. Look, and then like get
Right.
them to understand like this is like what needs to be addressed because this is the same issue over and over again. Jenna, will I be infertility by the end of this year? So what's the baby energy looking like for her, baby?
Well, I'm not going to comment on that because I make no claims about health or prediction in that way,
Mm,
but I will address what is the very real human question of
mm.
that this sounds like this has been a struggle and it's something you really want. And so I suspect you are dealing with a lot of high expectations and the potential of high disappointment. So I'm going to pull more on that and I will let you speak to those issues that you feel that you are more qualified. Again, we'll point out this is for entertainment purposes only. We are not doctors, lawyers, or mental health practitioners. So any advice we should give you, take it as you would from a friend or a trusted loved one. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and okay, so I feel like this is good. So, I mean, this is not. I can't say this is predictive, but I feel like so it's the fool, and so the fool is the beginning of a journey, and it is the very it is the big cosmic reset button, and it is a card of optimism and a card of hope and a card of like that beautiful, like naive sort of childlike innocence in greeting the world. We also, we see this little person on the jaunty little cliff with a little dog friend, which is also to point out that this card is about taking a leap. This is about like blind faith and just like trusting in the circumstances, trusting that life is worth living and life is out there and waiting for us. So that again, I cannot predict any of that, but it feels like in around your feelings of this question, this feels like a good sign, and that there is hope and a beginning. A beginning is coming, but I won't make a thing about the timing on that one. Baby, what do you get?
Yeah. I actually feel good about it too. So, I think you might have to try. I feel like you're going to have to try 2 or 3 separate times before you score. I do think that you will get pregnant, but when I ask about when I actually think you'll be able to get pregnant or it like is like a full term situation, I keep thinking of February. So I'm thinking February, either this coming February 2026, if I'm off of my timing, because timing's really rough to kind of figure out. But if it's not February this year, 2026, I would put it in February 2027, but I am seeing baby energy. And so I do believe that there will be a baby or pregnancy, but this is the part of it that's hard. You might have to try more than once. I feel like you might actually have to try 2 or 3 separate times before you score. Another thing to note, I know, and I know for a lot of people, infertility is a huge, huge challenge, especially nowadays, more so than ever before. In my family, I had to see loved ones go through the process of getting pregnant only for it not to like even progress past the first month. And I know that's really difficult, but it was one of those types of situations where I'm like, if you really like, just keep doing it, just keep trying, keep trying. I know there's only so much a person can take if they're trying and they're not going anywhere with it or it's not going very far. But I would just say have faith, and just keep trying. I do think it's going to take about 2 or 3 separate attempts. But when I ask myself, when I see baby energy, like a baby energy, I keep thinking of February. So I'm thinking this is February, either 2026. If I'm off my timing, it's February 2027.
And then, so I just, again, going back to the sort of human question of, I asked sort of, how do you deal with the hopes, expectations, possible disappointments, possible attempts and not getting,
Mm,
and it's knowledge. And the lesson of knowledge is remain teachable. Um, be open to new wisdom, be open to wisdom coming in from it, perhaps advice, be open um, to information and experience that um, is available to you to help you through the difficult human emotional phase of wanting this, trying hard, maybe not getting it as soon as you would like, and sitting with all of that. So, are there trusted people in your life that you would look to? Are there, and also what and part of this one is also is knowledge, and I love that it's a book because it's something that it's kind of like the Hierophant in the tarot, in that it is a tradition of knowledge. There is a sort of, so what teachers have you had, will you have, and then how can you also teach others with this knowledge? So I mean this in your experience right now, it might be helpful if you're feeling, again, this, if you're feeling, but I feel like you would be feeling probably anxious and expectant, and there's a lot of feelings around that. Rather than, like, one way to work yourself through that situation is, how can you lend that experience to others going through similar situations? Like, I mean, like, would a support group be helpful, and that you could share the knowledge, you could also get knowledge and experience in that way of dealing with what is feeling like a very large thing, I would imagine, and a very like the extreme hope of it all, and also then the other side of that coin being the extreme possible disappointments and grief. And so, yeah, don't close yourself off to knowledge. Let that knowledge flow through you and flow to others, and seek help when able to deal with the waiting. It's a lot of hurry up and waiting, I suspect, and that never feels good.
yeah. Okay. Here we go.
But also, like, I'm fingers crossed for you, Jenna.
Yeah. Yeah, try. Here's the thing. I mean, there's different reasons for why people are having trouble. I actually feel like with you, part of the challenge is I feel like one of your ovaries is slow, meaning that it doesn't. It's like it's missing that window when the release happens, where your body's signal for when you're actually fertile is different in the way that the environment is preparing itself for implantation. That period is not syncing up with the way it's releasing or how it's like releasing the egg, which I feel like it's odd because I don't even know if that's a thing. Um, if y'all know, let me know because I'm curious if that's a thing. But I feel like the way the hormone and the hormones are prepping and the system is prepping in the inside of the uterus doesn't feel like it's aligning with the release of the egg, and so there's like a weird miss that's happening there, and I feel like that's because one of your ovaries is slow. So tell it to hurry the hell up. So um, okay, let's see.
But again, the fool energy, like, take a leap, have some blind faith, and trust that things will work out.
Yeah.
But we don't always know the path we're taking.
Okay. Tommy, I need guidance if you don't mind. I'm in a bad mindset.
All right, Tommy.
Hmm.
Okay, Tommy. Ooh. So this is one of my favorite cards, but also one of the most really this one took me a while to kind of understand. So it's the Wheel of Fortune. And I'm glad it came up for you. I mean, I would like to say, like, of course it came up for you, but I'm also glad it came up for you. So the Wheel of Fortune is so much of it is fate and destiny and these huge cosmic forces. I mean, like for instance, everything that's going on in the world right now and everything that's going on in the country right now, like everything is so big and and potentially so terrible, and it just feels like too much. And like, what can we as tiny individual human beings do about it? And the answer is probably nothing. And like, there's just like the wheel spins, and it's beyond our control. And some people will believe like, oh, if you pull it upside down, it's bad luck. If you pull it upside up, like, oh, it's good luck. I don't believe in reversals, but it does mean it took me a long time to sort of understand the message of this card. And it is that there are big forces out there. The galaxy is just spinning and spinning. Our solar system, the Earth, they're just spinning and spinning. We have zero control over any of it, but we can control how we react to it. So the Wheel of Fortune, even though maybe it feels like things are big and beyond our control, we do have a hand in our own fate. We can help spin the wheel. I always often think of it because I've been in bad mindsets quite often in life. Let's not kid ourselves.
Hmm.
And it's hard when you're at the bottom to feel like I'm ever going to know what the top feels like. And sometimes if we're feeling at the bottom, they're like, I would give anything to just feel like I'm here, maybe. And part of that is within our grasp to control. We cannot necessarily spin our wheel all the way around to be up on top again and feel good. I mean, partly like life is cycles. There's going to be ups, there are going to be downs. That's beyond our control. But what can you do in your own life, in your own mindset? Um, I have been struggling with some depression this summer myself, and I'm trying to find new ways to shift my own perspective. Part of it is like, what can I feel grateful for? I know it can sound really cliche, but even neurologically, even the act of looking for things to feel grateful for, even if you can't find things to be grateful for, the act of trying to be grateful, of looking for gratitude, it triggers the same neurochemical effect as actually feeling gratitude. So you may as well try to feel grateful for something. So, how to get around a bad mindset? You it's a weird contradiction of you have no power to change anything except how you react to things. So it's okay to feel like you're in a bad mindset. It's okay to feel like you're down at times. It's okay. It's totally okay. It's also acknowledge you're not always going to be there. And sometimes it's hard to just, as we are talking about with Jenna, just like the hurry up and wait of it all is awful because we want to feel better. We want to be in a better mindset, a more productive mindset, a more positive mindset. And some of that is we have a choice. You can choose every morning. Like, let's just say you get up every morning, and instead of being like, okay, well, my day is going to suck because of all these things, just take a moment to be like, I want to look out for opportunities to feel joy. I want to look out for opportunity. I want to look for opportunities of support. I want to look for opportunities of community. I want to look for, and maybe you don't find them in the day, but just starting your day in that way. I know it sounds so Pollyanna and like early 2000s new agey, but we really do have a choice. And even just doing small things like that, it will help spin your wheel, and it will help over the long term shift your mindsets and your perspectives away from focusing on what's bad or what's not going well into like acknowledging that maybe things aren't going well or you're feeling not great, but also like think of the things that make you feel good and try to spin your own wheel in that direction. I don't know, babe. What are you thinking? I'm gonna pull an action card here while you're talking.
Um, you know what I do whenever I feel like crap? I watch Star Trek. I watch old 80s and 90s commercials. I eat stuff that I know I'm gonna like. I do things that I know I have positive experiences associated with it, because what I have to do is at that point, if I'm really not in a great mental place, I need to self regulate. And sometimes when we're so used to getting our charge from other people, especially those people around us that we depend on or that we expected would follow through or be there for us. And it feels like they're not, and they're disappointing us and they're breaking our hearts, which I feel a lot of this that you're dealing with has to do with just feeling really lonely and brokenhearted and feeling like people aren't showing up when they need to show up, especially in the area of romance, relationship, love. And I feel like sometimes it is really easy to detach and disconnect ourselves from reality when we start to give into the voice that's been there since we were little, telling us that we're worthless and that we're crap and that we have nothing to offer. And when we are treated a certain way or we have an experience with someone that is breaking our heart or that disappoints us and leaves us feeling completely screwed, it only makes that voice louder. And I'm sick of that bitch in my head. She ain't got nothing good to say, and all she does is piss me off. And so I just learned to use that anger as a motivator for change and transformation. But before I can get to anger, I have to kind of get to a place of peace with feeling like shit. So I do things that I know I am going to feel okay and I'm going to appreciate and I'm going to value. And it's just an automatic like, okay, if I watch Star Trek, I'm gonna feel a little bit better. If I go have that burger, okay, I'm not gonna do it every day, but it's gonna make me feel a little bit better. If I go for a walk, it may not solve my problems, but at least that physical activity and seeing the vistas and the views here will make me feel a little bit better. So even if it doesn't get me out of the mental hole that I'm in, if it makes me feel a little bit better, I what I try to do is I try to climb out of this place of despair and disappointment and sadness, and I try to climb into anger. Because when I get pissed off, I use anger as a tool and a motivator to make things happen. I make changes in my life. I do things because I'm like fired up and I'm like, that's it. I'm done with this shit. And then I make the change and it actually gets better. So I use anger as a tool instead of letting it turn me into a disgusting, ugly version of myself. I use it to turn me into a powerful force that you don't want to reckon with. So, what I would say to you is you got to climb out of this place of despair and get a little bit higher into a place of feeling like you have some power. And anger is one of those emotions. So, you have things to prove to yourself. Don't don't expect the people that you've been depending on or waiting to rise up and to be there for you that they're going to be able to do so. And that is okay. That is okay. Because if we can learn to walk the path alone and still be okay, doesn't mean you have to be alone forever. But if you can be okay for a little bit and do it alone, that is okay. And that's necessary in some instances. There are things that I've done in my life where I didn't have people support. I mean, even just my work, what I do for a living now, I didn't have people support. Everybody was giving me the opposite of what I needed. I wanted people to say, "Yeah, you could do this," or "Yeah, you can make this happen," or "Yeah, you have the ability to do that. I've seen you, use your skills and your abilities as a psychic and a medium." I didn't get any of that. I got like, "Well, are you sure you want to leave a full time job at Starbucks with benefits to do that? Do you want to take the risk? You got a mortgage to pay for. Are you sure you want to take that?" Um, I knew what I could do and I wasn't willing to let things stay the same way. So I decided I was going to do it with or without people's support. And it's like, fuck it. If I'm the first psychic medium to make a living out of this and do this full time and do the thing that I enjoy doing, I've had so much passion doing, if I can do that, and then I'll be the first. If not, I will gladly fall flat on my ass, flat on my face, and I will pick myself up because I know how to fix my problems and I will get back to doing something else that will get me stable. But I need to try and fail. And if I can't fail, then what the hell am I doing? And so at least I'm willing to fail if I try something. And I think you're so used to things going the same way and operating in the same way, and you're expecting people to contribute to the change in your life and to your happiness. And I would say stop waiting for that because that's a waste of time. And I think you have everything you need to make those changes now. With that being said, I do think financially there is a shift in about 4 months, which I think is going to make a difference for you. So right around Christmas, I feel like financially something starts to climb up and you start to feel like you've got a little more control. And I don't think you need to worry as much or focus as much on working with other people and on dealing with other people. around that. And I think that's gonna help you out some. But that's in 4 months. Right now, just give up on expecting too much from people, because I feel like that's just setting you up to you can't. A fish isn't going to fly. They're flying fish, but a fish isn't going to fly. So there's no point in trying to expect that to happen.
So I, as an action, I pulled, what can you do? And it's fire. It's a symbol for fire. And kind of similar to what Fernie was saying, I won't necessarily agree, like just get angry, but your fire, like what inspires you? So fire in the tarot, it's that element, it represents our energetic realm, our passions, our creativity, our instinct, our drive, our lust for life, like are the spark that gets us out of the bed in the morning. And I know sometimes when it's hard to feed that flame if we can't feel that spark. But like maybe you just need to sit down, think about um what is it that lights you up in life? What inspires you? What do you feel passionate about? What do you feel creative for? It may not be, and just do that. Fire energy is like, it spreads. You set something on fire, it spreads. It's sometimes out of control.
Mm,
And I wonder if you've lost touch with some of the forces, that the energies within us that we feel passionate about, and that inspire us, that drive us. So what is it that, and it's like sometimes we can't just go do something. Sometimes it does take a little bit to like, or we go through changes where things that used to inspire us, things that used to bring us joy, no longer do. But we sometimes hold on to that idea of what used to make us feel good. And if it's not doing it anymore, then let it go. Similar to
hmm.
like relationships that Bernie was talking about, like people are sucking your life, let them go.
Yeah.
Um, and but it's hard when you feel, I can say this as someone who has felt stuck in the mud numerous times in life. Um, it's really hard, and it's hard to get away from. But just like at the base level, like of the, to help spin your wheel of fortune, what lights you up? What inspires you? Like what would you like to do? What would bring you joy? Maybe it's Star Trek. Maybe it's eating crappy food. Maybe it's going for a walk. Maybe it's none of those things, but like what brings you joy? And if you're in a bad mindset, just focus on doing as much of that as you can right now.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Going over here.
Thank you for to everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for asking your questions. Thank you for, putting yourself out in a vulnerable way in a public forum, and letting
Not
two
easy.
strangers tell you what they think and what they think you should do.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, if nothing else, like everyone asking a question, depending on where you are in the emotional temperature of whether or not like, oh, I just have a quick question, or like, oh, I really need to know this. Like this is a choice that you have made to be with us and to try to get some guidance and to try to get some help. And we feel bad that we can't get to everyone because obviously, clearly we like to talk. But I want to thank everyone um for just being with us, and thank yourself for taking this step to want different things for yourself.
Kelly, will I get the public safety officer benefit payment for my husband's death? What's the energy looking like for money flow for the situation?
Well, I'm sorry to hear about your husband's death. And I'm sorry that it sounds like things that should go smoother are not, and you're perhaps concerned about money because of it. Um, okay, so I hate when bad cards come up around bad questions. So it's the Tower, which is admittedly the worst card in the deck, and it means catastrophe, and it means destruction, and it means it's all sorts of things. It's never good. But here's what I think it means here. Is it feels like destruction. And I don't know when your husband passed. But if you're dealing with all of this stuff, both of my parents are gone, and I remember after my mom died, it was hard, like the amount of, like they don't ever tell you like get plenty of death certificates because you're going to need to send them to every financial institution. You're going to need to prove that this person you loved and you cared about, and that is a huge hole in your life, that they existed on this earth and that they are due what they are due. And you have to prove it to some bureaucrat who's unfortunately just doing their damn job. and it's awful, and it feels awful. And I don't know if you passed suddenly, if this was expected or not, but the tower is bad, and it feels bad. But the tower is, even in the worst cards, and the tower is admittedly just the worst. Even in the worst cards, there is a message, there is an instruction, there is an action to take, there is a message of hope. The tower is sometimes, I like to think of it like a forest fire. I live in the Northwest. We get forest fires a lot. And it's awful and it's catastrophe and it's dangerous and it's destructive and it is life changing for anyone who's in the way of the fire and anyone who loses anything. And it's just, as someone who enjoys nature, it's awful to look at these fire scarred mountains. But that's also how you clear away old dead things so that new life can happen. So it's a long way of saying, like, I'm sorry that this bad card came up. I'm sorry that you're in this place where it sounds like you're feeling feeling monetary stress around something that's probably already severely emotionally stressful. And this is a strange sort of sign of hope. Um, and have It's hard. Acknowledge the loss, acknowledge the damage and the destruction, but sometimes it clears away the dead wood. Not that I would call your husband dead wood, but it clears away the things for new growth, for new life to happen, so that this may be a part of your, it was a specific financial question, but maybe this is a part of a larger, your next chapter, in that it may feel really awful right now. And maybe it's been feeling really awful, and it may feel awful for a while, but this is the start of a new chapter for you, and perhaps new growth will come from this, what feels like is certainly stressful, if not hard and devastating. I don't know, babe, what do you?
Um, I think you're gonna get it. I actually think you have to file twice with two different entities. The first filing is through the actual organization that is supposed to be responsible for paying that out. For some reason, I feel like they lost the paperwork or there were some administrative issues that came up because of a restructuring within the organization that's happened. And so that may not get taken care of through that organization the way it's supposed to. Then I see you refiling again, but through, it almost feels like through an insurance claim, because I feel like there's some sort of a system where if something's going on the front end, there's this insurance, you can go through an insurance claim process, which is what I see you doing. And when you end up doing it that way, that's when you end up receiving or getting approved for the benefit. And then the organization that was supposed to pay it out initially, or that you originally filed with, is going to come back and first of all apologize for the mix up, but also because it took as long as it did. So I actually think that you're going to get it, but it's a process. I'm actually thinking January looks good. So I'm thinking you should have you should receive some sort of approval letter or some sort of a notice in January or by January that will, I think, give you an idea of when to expect that. But the notice may just show that it for some reason was transferred over, or you had to resubmit the information, and it had to go through this other process with an insurance claim. And that's what I'm thinking. So I'm kind of thinking that you're going to get it. I'm thinking January. If I'm off in my timing and it's not this January, then I would say it's next January. But I'm going to say I think January would be when this would happen. Did you have to file? Are you, if you're still on here, did you have to submit documentation to two separate entities or to two separate organizations? I'm just curious because I feel like I keep seeing you having to file twice or send in the same documents again because something, either the first set got lost or there was a weird mix up with how that was supposed to be handled.
Two bodies leaping from the tower.
Yeah. And this
Um,
is like,
I don't know
well,
if you,
and
I
sometimes
don't
these organizations, like when they're going through restructurings and stuff, they they don't keep track of shit. Like companies are not the same way that they used to be, where they kept really good paper trails. Sometimes they're like, oh, I don't know if that's on the same system or if it's on the old system.
know. As an action of how to deal with it, I pulled a shadow, which is, so sorry, my dear. I've just pulled the worst cards for you from two decks. I think I'm probably just picking up on the emotional energy around all of this, and the
Um,
struggle and the loss, perhaps.
Yeah. Also, Andrew or Andy or Anderson is somehow connected to the situation, whether it's someone you're going to have to deal with or it's somehow connected to the circumstances of his passing. But I'm seeing that name in my head, so there might be a tie to that as well. I don't even think she's in here because she is not responding. So, all right,
Yeah.
moving on. Um,
Well, then maybe not. I didn't give her bad news.
let's see. By the way, guys, if I show your question, let me know that you're in here. Just say I'm here. That way I know that you're actually here. Don't say it now when when I actually put your question up. I'm gonna need you to calm down. Calm down. Here.
All right. Oh, well, I mean, Brad, I'm gonna ask you just dead on. Do you want to? Don't. Why are you putting this in Earl's hands? I mean, before I pull a single card, you're worth. You know what you deserve. There's a real scarcity mindset. I was texting with a friend earlier tonight who is in a dating place and wondering why. I just sent out my newsletter today and it had some stuff about Ferny and I, and uh and I got back some lovely messages of support. And then a friend of mine who is in a dating place, and he's like, I'm looking for that and I can't seem to find it. I was like, well, gay dating is awful. So Brad, before I pull a single question, what do you want from Earl? And you are in the driver's seat, my friend. I don't know you, but you get to make this choice here. Don't leave it all up to Earl because Earl might just. And if Earl is like casual about it, again, haven't touched a card yet, been shuffling. This is just me on my soapbox. If Earl can't get his shit together, then Brad, you're worth more. You deserve better. But let me pull a card and see.
So what's the energy between the two of them? Is it a match? Is it a connection?
Well,
Ooh.
okay. So it's the Knight of Coins. And so it's this lovely bear just out here in this field climbing up the mountains. The Knight of Coins is about hard work, and then the Knight of Coins is about an uphill trudge. It's not just like it's not bad. It's just the knights always have questing energy, and because it's coins, that's the earth. And so that is work and labor. And so maybe you're going to enjoy the labor of it's also around like material things, not material necessarily money, but like the material world. So maybe you're going to enjoy putting in the labor of figuring shit out with Earl. I mean, maybe it's sometimes around body stuff, our actual material environment. So maybe you guys are going to enjoy each other in a material way, if you know what I'm saying. But it feels like it's going to be an uphill climb,
Is he a
which
bear?
is not to say that it's not going to be worth it and you won't get to the destination you're looking for. But this does tend to indicate that something it's going to be a bit of work, a bit of a journey to go on. Um, and so to you, I say don't look for the end point. Don't like I mean, depending on what you want. I'm just gonna make this up here, but like I want the house and the whatever and the picket fence and I want two dogs and half of a cat and like an adopted baby or whatever. Like whatever your end point is, don't focus on that. Enjoy the journey. It may take a while to get to your ultimate destination, but don't just be so focused on the end point of it, of whatever the end point is you want with Earl. And like enjoy yourself. Take your time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, baby. What are you seeing? I'm gonna pull an action card.
Yeah, I think it's possible. You're gonna have to go slow with him because I think he scares easily, and even though he might actually have feelings and he might like you, he might like freak out. He might freak out a little bit, so you might need to give him a little bit of time. You might be ready to go. I'm a pedal to the metal personality. Not everybody is like that. So when I like
That's the absolute
someone,
truth.
yeah, when I like someone and I know what I want, I'm like, I ain't
Absolute
wasting
truth.
time. Why am I gonna
He
sit
tried
here?
to. He told me. He told me he's like, I'm gonna try to lock you down. It was the first week. It was like date 3. I was like, okay, crazy person, but
Yeah, I'm like,
here I am.
why am I gonna wait? I know what I want. Like, what's the point of waiting and like just so there is a process of learning how to learning who each other is, learning what that's about, respecting each other. There is a process of learning how to grow into something together, and that does require time. But if you know what you want, make that clear, express yourself, but don't scare the hell out of him, because he can be like he may not be where you're at. So just give him enough so he understands what you feel, but don't put him in a position where you are needing him to agree to what you want, because he's not there yet. So give it a little bit of time. I also, what I see happening though, as far as like that's concerned, I can see you doing that and still not hearing everything that I just said and coming on a little too strong. He's going to get a little bit scared or spooked, pull back, and then he might seem a little bit like he's ghosting you or he's not communicating. It's not because he doesn't like you. It's just because that's his way of establishing a boundary. Because when a person can't say, hey, look, bitch, you're going way too fast. Slow the fuck down. Do you see the yellow light? That means slow down. He doesn't know how to say that. His way of saying something is like, I'm just not going to like communicate. Like, I'm just going to like shut down for a little bit. And that's just his way he's communicating. And that's okay. Some people need to learn how to communicate, but I wouldn't take that as a no in his case. I would say that that's just his way of trying to put a little bit of a boundary and space there, because he's just not ready for the kind of commitment that you're wanting to jump into. But that doesn't mean he's not going to like pop back up shortly thereafter. So you just got to give it a little time, go slowly. With that being said, if you need a pot of beans, don't go trying to grow beans, because that's going to take some time. Get your ass to the grocery store, buy a bag of Pintos, and put that bitch on the pot. Get that started.
What
Put your
metaphor
seasoning.
is this?
Get that going. Make your beans, because we ain't got time to waste, right? And I get you. Don't expect him to be a grocery store bag of beans when he's one of the ones in the yard who's going to take a little while to like blossom, bloom, grow, and turn into something that's edible. So what I would say is don't expect too much from him, because he may not, even if he does come back into a mode where he's willing to like move things forward, I still see you being frustrated with him and being like, you're never like, and so I would just say, don't expect too much from him. I would just say, have fun, enjoy yourself, but keep looking, in my opinion, because I don't feel like he's going to be able to match your energy.
Okay, so in the what should Brad do about this? I pulled that is the power card, and I don't do this often. I am going to read straight from the book. So Brad, write it down, record it. You are powerful. You are worthy. You are sovereign. It is time to remember your worth. Drawing this card invites you to take your place in the starring role of your life. There is no need to play small here. You are being granted permission to display your strengths for all to see at this time. It does no service for you to hide your gifts. Drawing this card, or having someone that you've asked to draw this card, drawing this card can also indicate that it is time for you to call your power back from any situation where it may have been taken away from you.
There you go. All
Get
right.
what you want and be sure of what you want. And if Earl is not what you want, if Earl is not able to give you what you want, move along. Keep on trucking, my friend, because you are a strong, powerful bear, and you have a mountain to climb. But you're in a beautiful place, so enjoy the journey. And that's Ferny and Blaine on Gay Dating. Ferny, by the way, has no boundaries or a brake pedal. So I just want, yeah,
Why waste
yeah.
time? Like, I mean, why waste time? Just put it all out there. Take it or leave it.
He does. He does. He does. And it's great. Cuts through the bullshit right away.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of bullshit, back and forthing bullshit out there in dating, and men are frankly fucking awful. Everyone, raise your hand if you can agree with that one. We are children, we don't communicate well, we aren't comfortable with our emotional life, and we aren't, yeah. Anyway, sorry. Hi, Fire Girl. Will you find love this year? Okay, first off, again, this is gonna be me without even drawing a card. I'm gonna shuffle some cards, and it's just me on my goddamn soapbox. Will you find love this year? Do you want to? It is your choice. That being said, go back immediately to what I was just saying about dating is awful, and I won't assume necessarily heteronormativity to your question, but like all adults are frankly awful in this world. Will you find love this year? But I can sense that you want it, and the prayer hands emoji tells me that there is some emotional temperature to this need. So let's see what the deck says. Okay, I love it. I love it. Um, so it's the 7 of coins.
Hmm.
And the 7 of coins is like, look at that little fella. He's just standing there observing his garden where all of these beautiful golden coins have grown. Much, I mean, frankly, just like Ferny was saying about the stupid, I'm sorry, babe, the stupid bean metaphor, it takes time to grow something that's worthwhile. So you ask, will you find love this year? Well, it's almost September. Take the time that you need to grow the garden in the way, and the garden is your love, dear, to grow the garden in the way that it's going to sustain, it's going to be long lasting, it's going to grow plenty of fruit. You're going to get a lot of gold from this venture, but that plant ain't growing in the next 4 months. So I don't mean to just, and who the hell knows? You could go on a vacation to Santa Fe and meet somebody off of Tinder and immediately click with them because you guys must have known each other in previous existences and it just worked. And I would never have thought that I would have found love in that way. But it wasn't for lack of trying. It wasn't for lack of, frankly, replowing, planting over, burning the field down because I was so fucking frustrated. Pardon my French. But you're asking around if you're going to find it this year. I feel like, in the nicest, most supportive way, no. But what you can do this year is plant the seeds well and harvest them when they're ready. And by that I mean know what you want, know what you're looking for, know what you'll put up with, know what you will not put up with, most importantly, and keep yourself open to the opportunity. But don't just look for the thing because you think you need the thing. Look for love because you want love and you have love to give. And part of the journey of love is that you give out and it will come back to you. You plant the seeds and you will reap the rewards. It's not a passive thing. You are in the driver's seat on this one, Fire Girl. It's all right. Soapbox over. I'm going to pull an action, baby. What do you say?
I think that, girl, I'm worried that you're going to become one of these ladies who are in like their 50s or 60s and they're still waiting to meet someone who's going to fulfill expectations and undo the crap that they have built up inside of them.
Mm.
I'm worried that you're going to become one of these people who ends up forming calluses of a shitty attitude and of an opinion about people romantically, or like whether it's men or female, it doesn't matter, whatever you're drawn to. But I feel like you're going to turn to one of these women who's going to be bitter, alone, and keep getting stuck in victim energy and mindset and victimhood. Like, you got to be careful because I feel like you're turning into that. And I feel like, sometimes like when you're sitting with someone or like you call someone on the phone and they just want to bitch and complain about everything, or they just want to like pour me, pour me, pour me. Like, I feel like sometimes you really are in that mode. You got to work on that because I don't want to be around you when you're like that. Why is someone going to want to be, ain't nobody going to want to get in bed with you if you being that way. So that's something you got to work on because that is something that is attracting energy to you. With that being said, even though I'm afraid that you might become one of these individuals, and you don't have to like what I have to say. That's okay. I'm still going to say it. But um, I do think that you're going to have two situations play out. One is I feel like you got an ex coming back into the picture, and because you might get desperate, you might actually let them back in just to create a little bit of confusion and a mess. So be careful about that. And I feel like that's a likelihood in the next couple of years, mostly around the summer of next year. By the summer of next year, the other situation that I see coming up for you is I do feel that there are opportunities where you can meet people, but you don't catch it because you're either not approachable or you're just in like you got your blinders on, and you're not catching it. And because of this, I feel like you're missing opportunities to build connection with people, to build new friendships, to build new bonds, and to incorporate new energy into your life, even if it's just making new friends. Um, she must have caught a mouse. She must have caught a mouse. So I think that you are at risk of becoming one of these people, but I think that there is the opportunity for romance or love in a couple of years. But I think the earliest connection that comes around feels like an X. So be careful about that.
So interesting that you say that. So I pulled the action of what should you do with this, and it's honest, it's the soulmate card. And so like, oh, it's so cute, it's pink, and there's these two hearts. And maybe it's the X and that these hearts are, but like, look at the way these hearts are drawn. So I think it's
Yeah,
out there
they're
for you.
mismatched.
But I think it's a mismatch. Either what's coming is going to be a mismatch, or you're not looking in the right way, or something is right there, but you're not seeing it. You're looking for two right side up hearts right now, and maybe there's something right in front of you, but you're not looking at it in the way that is beneficial. But you're looking for the love that you think should you think it should take the form of a certain way.
Hmm.
But like, shift your perspective if you can. It might already be there. I mean, this could be X energy because maybe, maybe they're aligned because it didn't work out, but it also feels like love, like it's pink and there's hearts, and um that's the stick. Now the carrot is good luck, girl. Like, it's hard out there, and everybody deserves love. Everybody wants to be loved, wants to give love. I guess that's not true. I guess not everybody. There are some out there that don't. But most of us, we crave it. We want it. We want to feel that way. And so, having been a person who hadn't, you know, it really, until Ferny, like Ferny
Yeah,
is the law. I'll
you
be
can.
real
You
honest.
can.
Ferny's the longest. What?
No, I was gonna say
You can
she
interrupt
can.
me? Babe? You can interrupt me? Hold on.
Yeah.
See, soulmate, weird energy. So no, no. I'm saying I was looking for something for so long, and I was looking for something that it seemed like it came so easily to everyone else. And kind of, as we were talking to Brad in the last one, I was trying to fit so many square pegs into a round hole, which is not a cheap pun, but it kind of could be. Um, it just wasn't. It wasn't working. Like, it was. I wasn't finding it, and I was feeling, and then the pressure to like find it because, I mean, girl, time be a ticking. Like, I felt it. I'm 46, and this is the longest, most significant relationship I've had in my adult life with this sassy bitch across the camera from me. And I value it so much, and I treasure it, and I feel so lucky. And it came in the most, I wasn't looking for it. And I won't give you the old cliche that everyone gives you, like, well, if you just stop looking for it, that's when you find it. But like, honestly, it happened to me in a way. I wasn't expecting to go on vacation and meet someone like him. Sassy, talks too much, no breaks, Johnny no breaks. But I love that guy, and it wasn't in a way that I thought. But I was feeling the desperation of, like, is this ever going to happen for me? And feeling the desperation of, like, well, maybe I don't deserve all the things that I want. Maybe I shouldn't get the things, and maybe that's just impossible to get the things that I want. And like, I guess I'll settle because nothing is better than something. And so again, I want to go back to this one, the seven of pentacles, the seven of coins. It's about reevaluating. So this is like, it's about reevaluating where you are at harvest time. So maybe, follow me here with the plant metaphor. Maybe you look at harvest time and you've harvested 7 coins out of this. And you're like, you know what? Next year, I'm going to do it this way differently because I think I can get more out of this. So it's a time to stop, to acknowledge what you have and acknowledge what you've grown and acknowledge that you need to grow something. It's not just, you can't just pluck a piece of fruit off of a tree. It takes a long time for that tree to fruit, but you have to reevaluate. You have to constantly like adjust and know what it is you're out there. So this may just be the time to reevaluate where you are and figure out what is actual gold to you. And don't necessarily get distracted by the cheap, like the cheap showiness of an X, perhaps. It's out there. Give yourself some grace and some space. It may not happen this year, but don't settle for what is not right for you. And don't
Yeah.
settle for less than you deserve.
Yeah. And you can do it. And speaking as a round hole, you can fit a square peg in a round hole. Boom, boom,
Babe,
boom.
wow.
All right.
You're blocked on all the
Uh,
platforms.
let's see.
All
Janine,
right,
how do my finances look in the next year? What's the financial energy for her?
okay. Strange one. It's the Hanged Man. Um, which, as we're going to ask around, so the hanged man is often pictured as a man hanging upside down from his feet. And that one is always about like see things if you can in a whole new perspective. Like I was just sort of talking with the soulmate thing, how one heart was upside down. Like sometimes we have to be turned upside down to shift our perspective completely to be able to see. Um, Unfortunately, Janine, there is a sort of negative aspect to this card, the shadow side of this one. Not this particular version of it, but it usually looks like the hanged man. I'll see if I can find him in the other deck to prove my point. It's a guy hanging around. I mean, it looks like he's hanging, and so it does encourage. Like, yes, we can find a new perspective, but we find a new perspective by suffering. So there is an element of suffering for knowledge, suffering for a new perspective. There is also an aspect of it also like the positive side. It encourages us to let go of control and like things are going to happen the way they happen. If you can shift your perspective, I'm going to try to find the other one because it'll make more sense. It may require some suffering in the short term to gain wisdom in the long term. So, as you're asking around finances in the next year, I feel like it's not the nicest message to get. I also, because I read and pay attention to the world, I also worry about my finances next year, and it's all sort of related to everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just got my electric bill today, and it was twice as much as what it usually is. Now it's summer, and I've had the air conditioner on,
What's twice as
but I
much
didn't have the air
in Oregon?
conditioner
In
on that
Oregon,
much.
babe. In Oregon, what's twice as much?
Well, I live in a small place, and I
But what?
am a miser when it comes. But it's like $50.
$50,
But
y'all. Texas,
hold on,
twice as
$50
much.
up from like 25. It's double. It is double what it was, and
Y'all,
wasn't using
Texas,
that much more.
but Texas, 25, it's double, which is $50. For those of y'all who know how hot it is in Texas and the amount of air conditioning that is required just to feel okay, not even to get to a comfortable temperature, just to get okay, $50. Like my electric bill here in Santa Fe, New Mexico, because this house is electric, all of it electric, baseboard heaters and everything. My electric bill in the winter, if I actually want to keep the house heated, is about $600. $600. So
Okay. Okay, babe. So this is one of those great opportunities where you don't need to. It's actually really invalidating to someone else's experience when they say a bad thing and you're like, you think your shit's bad, my shit's huge. So just appreciate that I'm
yeah.
talking about finances. And
Mhm.
yes, you have an enormous house, and you also leave the lights on all the time, and you do laundry like 12 times a week.
Yeah. I use a
So
lot of
all right. So
electricity. I do use a lot of
anyway, that is
electricity. Hmm.
that's a couple fighting over this. So, Janine, this is the hanged man. Sorry, this is the hanged. No, that's the right way. This is the hanged man normally. So it does encourage. There is an idea of being uncomfortable and suffering, but ultimately gaining greater wisdom because you are able to find a new perspective. So, babe, go. Tell me about what else is expensive.
So, and I wasn't invalidating you, babe. I was trying to make a point that it is way cheaper in
Okay, are
Oregon.
you now invalidating me, telling you that you were invalidating
Oh
me?
my
Oh, that's really
God,
great.
babe.
So
Oh my God.
everyone out there, this is a man. Thank you. I am a man. I can mansplain things to myself there, dear. I don't need you to mansplain for me. Anyway,
Wow.
what do you
Wow.
see, my darling? My love.
Janine. Okay, so I actually think that your finances are going to improve, but I feel like you got to do a reset. So I think what's going to happen, and this is right after taxes happen, because I feel like when tax time comes around, you have to make some adjustments. First of all, in the way you're going to be filing going forward, but also it feels like you get clear on your financial plan going into the rest of next year, and it feels like you're able to actually get some traction. So the first half of the year feels a little bit off from what you would want it to feel like. The second half of the year feels much better. I do think that you're just going to make big changes next year. You're going to get your finances in order, and you're going to be able to start moving in the direction of your goals. So halfway through the year, it feels financially like you're actually doing good and you're moving in the direction you want to move into, but the first half feels off. But it's because you have to do a reset, which I can totally relate to you because I'm having to do that later this year myself, so I get that part of it.
Action around how to deal with financial stress relief. So it piggybacks onto how I would bookend these. Is that there is a reset here. There is seeing the world from a new perspective, and some relief that's coming, according to Ferny and this other deck. And as we know, Fernie's the expert on everything.
Poppy,
Oh, we're getting
Poppy,
salty on the live tonight, everyone.
Poppy. Let's see. Let's do a mediumship one because I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Irene, I would like to connect with my mom, please. Um, there's a couple of things with this that I want to mention. One is I don't know if you took over her plants and then you had to repot them or you had to change the way they were laid out. Because what I'm reminded of is like whenever there's like a garden set up. So when I first moved here to the house that I live in right now, the garden and the plants were set up a certain way, but that wasn't working for me. So I decided to kind of move things around, and also I had to make it sustainable for myself. I keep seeing something like that, so I don't know if since your mom's passed, if you made some changes to the garden or to the plants around her memorial area, or if you just have her plants that you've had to repot and you've had to make some changes to. But I'm seeing something like that. So that's one thing. I'm seeing a heart shape, but I feel like I want to open up the heart or kind of split it in two. So I don't know if she was also having some issues with her heart function that started to creep in and aggravate the condition that she was dealing with. Because in a way, it feels like she was already dealing with one issue, and then all of a sudden, something started to affect or go to her heart that started to create some issues for her there. So I am also seeing that as well. I'm also seeing the 12. So I wonder if the 12th of a month is significant or if there is a connection to the month of December as well. Also, I'm seeing a mouse on a pillow or like a mouse pillow cover. I don't know if this is like a Mickey Mouse themed pillow or if there's like a piece of fabric that's like a pillow that has a mouse connection to it because I'm seeing something like that as well. But that's another thing that I'm seeing. So let me know if you understand that or if that connects to you. But she is around you and thank you. She's also holding a baby. So there might be a baby that was miscarried, lost, or terminated with her that she wants to make you aware of. Okay. I don't even know if she's in here or not. Are you in here, Irene? No, I'm not seeing you. All right, I'm not seeing her, so we're moving on. Um, hmm. Here's another mediumship. Okay. Um, any messages for my dad? Thank you. Um, Do you still have his wallet? Because I'm reminded of whenever there's like a leather pouch, or if I don't know if it's a wallet per se, but it's like a leather pouch. But I'm seeing something like this because he's making reference to that. He's also showing me the 20. I don't know if this is the 22nd or the 23rd, but there's a 22 or 23 reference, whether it's the 22nd of a month or the 23rd of a month. That means something as well. He also is showing me a necklace, so I don't know if you had a necklace made with for him, because I'm also seeing a necklace, but it feels custom. So, okay, my mom passed in December. Got it. Irene is back. She is there. Irene, girl, what took you so long? I'll get back to you in a second. I'll come back to you in a second. So coming back to Tay, so he's showing me a necklace. So there might be a custom, and it feels custom made. So I'm thinking there's something there that he's also making reference to. He's also acknowledging like your mom, but it's almost like this. So I don't know if you've been butting heads with your mom recently or if y'all have not been getting along, unless he's referring to himself and your mom. But I'm thinking he's acknowledging like a little bit of a butting of heads and not seeing eye to eye in something. Sometimes, especially because people can sometimes be critical or they tend to vocalize themselves. And if they're not doing okay or if they're not doing well, they kind of want to express that and make others aware of it. So he's also showing me that as well. Do you understand that?
Tay Dizzle.
Monte.
Tay Dizzle 2. A little shocked that there was a Tay Dizzle 1 already.
All right, I'm gonna keep going because I wanted to make sure I could get that validated for you. But I'm not seeing you unless you just like, I don't think I'm gonna get my question answered, and then it just dropped out and then it's gone. Okay. Coming back, let me come back to Irene because she popped back up. Um, and I want to acknowledge her. She did say her mom passed in December, so she's already able to validate some of the details. When these clips are going to get reposted, when you see it, write the stuff that I just said down and go back over what I just said, because there's more there that you'd be able to validate. But think about the other things that I mentioned as well. All right, going to okay. Let's go over here because let's see.
I did see one. I was scrolling through while you're looking, babe, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the name now. It's too far up, but it was someone was saying that their mom passed 20 years ago, and they were asking for a sign that they don't feel her anymore. And I just want to say, like, my dad died when I was 4, which was over 40 years ago. My mom died, it'll be 15 years ago, and I actually, because Ferny bought me the ticket, I went and saw Lisa Williams and a Daniel Monroe psychic who's up here in Portland, and Lisa Williams is kind of a global psychic, and they were doing live mediumships. And one of the questions that somebody asked, like it was a time for a question and answer, and so I raised my hand, and because I've had a lot of people in my life who are no longer, who are on the other side, and I was really like both hoping and also afraid that I was going to get messages from them, particularly in a very public place, because sometimes my emotional center is right at the surface, and like, yeah, you don't necessarily want to have a big emotional scene in the middle of a theater surrounded by strangers, even though I'm sure they would have been incredibly supportive and wonderful. But someone had asked the question, which I was going to ask too, like, well, how soon? And I don't know, maybe Ferno, you can confirm or add on to this, or like, how soon after someone passes can you feel them? And it's not like there's a hard and fast rule, but they do sort of need to be gone a little bit, it seems like. And then I asked the follow-up question because I was, kind of hoping to connect with my mom, and who's been gone about 15 years. And the kind of answer is like, well, eventually spirits kind of move on. And again, these are my words filtering it through now. And so I just wanted to say, I forget who posted that, but just say that, I'm really sorry about the loss of your mom. And I also, like, I understand that whole of wanting, I will occasionally have I call them mom dream. I mean, they're mom dreams. She'll come and visit me in a dream, and it's wonderful. And now it's been so long that the really immediate grief part of it has faded with time and healing. And so now it's just like it's just such a nice thing. And so whoever, if they're even still here and with us, to just say, like, don't give up hope. But also that, again, you have the control, and you have, like, keep honoring them, keep thinking about them. Um, Keep thinking about your mom. It doesn't necessarily mean that she's still with us, still with you. Um, she might have moved on to wherever we all move on to. Um, but that, just even just the thinking and the missing and the wanting, that treasure that, and that's treasure the memories that you have. And it's hard when they're gone a long time and we miss them dearly, because it sucks, because it feels like, in a way, we lose them slowly, more and more, each day and each year.
Mm.
Um, and so, yeah, I don't know if, and I don't know, Ferno, if you could have, if you could pick up on someone who's been gone that long,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah.
if they're still around. It's Yeah. Anyway, so I just wanted to acknowledge that person who was um, wanting that connection, and
Yeah.
maybe is feeling it. That that's
Yeah. I
it's
think
hard.
the oldest energy that I've picked up on. I mean, when I tune into past lives, that's a form of communicating with the spirit. But when it comes to like doing a live session, I've had spirits come through who were like from the early 1900s. I mean, a long ass time ago. So it does happen. Um, okay. Um, you look cute with your glasses, baby.
Well, he says this, folks, but he bought me these glasses. They are readers, and by the way,
Yeah, because
they like.
he can't see, so he's like I can't. I'm like, and so I
Look,
got him the ones with the
good thing
lights.
you can't see. First of all, I have contacted. I have terrible eyes. I've had terrible eyes my whole life. Okay, and then we reach a certain age, and everyone reaches a certain age if we're lucky, and then our eyes just start falling off a cliff that they haven't. My prescription hadn't changed in 20 years, and then suddenly I can't see. I have to hold my phone
Sir,
way out
I'm gonna
here
need you
now.
to calm down, sir. Sir, I'm gonna need you to calm down.
Well, you're poking the old bear,
I'm
so
gonna
I can't. You posted that. You posted that. Thank you, everyone, for paying attention
I'm
to
gonna
Blaine
need you
and
to
Ferny.
calm down, sir.
You posted that, and so I wanted to see what Holly.
I'm
I
having
swear.
trouble. So she
No,
says,
I was looking at the name. I thought it said Rose and Titties. I was like,
I'm having Holly, I'm having trouble starting my own therapy practice. Will I remain in this role?
okay, um, Holly. Well, uh, I have a sister-in-law who's a therapist. My oldest friend is a therapist. I know many therapists, and that is hard to start your own business. Uh, as you were talking to two people, one of them who has up top who has a very long-standing successful business, and one of them who is creating a new business. And the idea of like trusting in ourselves and can we do it, and just it's the thing of I haven't pulled a card yet. This is just me on the soapbox. Because we have to do. I mean, there's you're able to hire people who will handle your marketing, let's say, and handle all the other things, and you can handle book for therapists.
Mhm.
Hire a biller, hire office staff if you need it, and because some of those little things to get a business going and running and sustainable, we don't always have the skills. I was an actor. I mean, I still sort of am, but like part of what I got frustrated about the acting profession is I'm a great actor. I was a great actor. I just wasn't great at the business side of it and the marketing and like the networking part of it and the schmoozing. And so that was not my skill set. And so I missed out on a lot of opportunities and ultimately got frustrated and either retired or took a real long break from it. I'm still sort of figuring it out. Um, and so yeah, it sucks to sort of try to run your own business because I say this because there are a lot of hats you may end up having to wear, and some of them may not feel like comfortable hats. Anyway, soapbox over, card.
Um,
Huh. What do you got? I got a card.
go.
Oh, so I have the Eight of Cups. And the cups is the suit of water. Oh, try not to get it so it's shiny. Suit of water, which is our emotional realm. It's around our emotional energy. And as we see in this picture, this person is walking off in the distance in this, between this mountain pass, let's say. There's a beautiful moon up ahead, but we don't see the face. So we don't know how they're feeling. The Eight of Cups is about going into the unknown. And in traveling to the unknown and doing something, excuse me, that is new and potentially difficult, and that there is a lot of water, emotional energy around that. Um, so in this role, I don't know. I don't know what I would say. Will you remain in this role? Again, I go back to just the pure. Do you want to? As we had, I think it was our first question tonight of like, will I stay in this new job? Well, part of it is what do you want to do? And I can hear that you're asking yourself this question and probably facing perhaps an uphill slog or an unknown journey. And it does create a lot of emotional energy. And that's okay. It should. It can be really scary. This is all about like, we don't know the road that lies ahead. It's hard and it scares us and it causes a lot. But I will go back to just the essential part of your question of like, what do you want to do? Any path is unknown. We all face the unknown. But like, is this something that inspires you that you want to do? There are other options out there. I have a friend who is just finished up her um therapist training program. I mean, she still has some of her hours to
Yeah.
do. I'm assuming, I mean, I guess maybe I'm assuming this is mental health practice, but I guess this could be any type of therapy practice.
Yeah.
There are the options out there for her. Do I start my own practice, my individual private practice? Do I go and work for like a clinic? Or is there are versions in between? And it's hard, but like I guess I would say, what do you want to do? Anyway, I'm gonna pull another card around in action, baby. What do you say?
I think she wants to do it. I think the problem is that it's turning into an expensive endeavor because it's so much involved with having to get like all of the legalities around it. There's costs that go along with it. I think that it's just turning into an expensive endeavor. It's requiring a lot of work on the back end. So I feel like she just wants to be a therapist. She doesn't want to run a business. And I think that's
Yeah,
hard, especially for someone who's trying to do it on their own. I think she is going to leave the current setup that she's created. I can see her working for a organization where she can do therapy at, and then I can see her doing that for about a year. I don't think that's going to really make her super happy either, because I feel like she really does need a good balance between running her own business and doing her own thing, but at the same time she wants stability. But I feel like she's going to leave for a year. She's going to get in with another organization, do that, work with them or work under them for a year, and then she's going to meet another therapist who already has their own business, and they're going to talk about a partnership. And maybe in the past she's considered a partnership, but she's like, no, I don't want to deal with drama. She'll actually consider it this time because I feel like it'll be a really good like opportunity to just slide on in there, and someone's already got it set up. All she has to do is slide in there and get herself situated. And I can see that turning into something more sustainable for her. And at some point, she'll actually take over that business, and it's already done for her. So I feel like she'll get what she wants. She's just going to have to go in a roundabout way of doing it. Also, you might do some additional credentials, or you might get some additional training in about 2 years from now. And it's almost like the next level of therapy that you had thought about also going into, like to go into that next level. And I feel like you just didn't. You just like you stuck with what you needed. Well, you're going to do that, but it might take a couple of years before you get to that. Yeah. Yeah. She says so much back work and insurance credentialing. Yeah.
yeah,
There's something to be said about, there's something to be said about like, it's one thing when you have a passion for something. It's another thing when you have a lot of extra work to do that you don't really want to do. And she wants to be a therapist. She doesn't want to be a business administrator or a business owner, you know.
right.
Okay.
So I pulled another card for an action, and I wasn't really sure what to do with it because it's gratitude. And I was like, well, I mean, like, yes, we should all feel grateful. And I know I absolutely just told someone earlier, I can't remember his name now, to also like practice gratitude. But I actually think as we look at the image here, like it's the candle. And similar to when I pulled the
Yeah.
gentleman who was feeling in a bad mindset and the fire energy came out, I think this is particularly when it comes to these. So, oh my God, I made Fernie disappear. Um, so yeah, so first we have this Eight of Cups energy. Well, as you look up in there, this person is walking by the light of the moon. And the moon in the tarot is a symbol of intuition and inner knowing. And then I pull this and it's a candle. Again, both of them are light sources that pop up in the dark or that we need in a dark place. So I would say, as I was like, well, what do you want to do? Similar to the gentleman I was encouraging fire energy, what is the, what where is your candle leading you? If you had to, you're in a dark room and you have your one single candle, like what is that light and where is it leading you? So
Yeah.
reconnect to really the thing, like there's a great dream. I have this dream. I mean, Fernie's kind of living the dream, this sort of, I run my own business. It is entirely mine. I make my hours. I set my schedule. I do this. I do that. I help people and I do all right by it. And I'm trying to do a similar thing, but it's also, Fernie's also really good at like the business shit of it and the tech shit of it. And he has learned a lot throughout the years. He didn't always start off this way, but it took a long time to, while also being a very gifted psychic medium, to also pick up all of the business crap. And then also he has an assistant who takes care of a lot of the back end of his stuff because we can't do it all. And he would rather spend his time and energy doing readings, helping people. That's his candle. That's what lights him up. That's what guides him in a dark place. And while he does enjoy some of the business aspect and he enjoys the technology aspect of it, like I know he doesn't like messing with his schedule and stuff, or like I hear him complaining about, like the stuff around the financial stuff, like paying taxes and paying receipts taxes to different states and like, ugh. So Holly, if you are, I mean, if therapy is your candle, maybe your candle is not running your own business, being your own, because there's a dream sort of, I want to be my, like, yes, I run my own practice. I at one point in my life wanted to be a therapist because I really love the idea of like, yes, sitting down across from somebody in a room and just like listening to them and trying to help them out. And there's that beautiful candle flame of that. Like that is what lights me up. But if I had to like rent office space and like all of the other shit, frankly, that comes along with running your own business, it's hard and I don't have the passion for it. And so things go by the wayside in that way, or things could go by the wayside. So if there's an opportunity for you to go somewhere or to, I know also like friends have joined small partnerships where they work under, somebody has their own private practice and they rent out their own office space and they have offices to rent, and then so they pay a biller and they have a billing service. Like sometimes I have known friends and loved ones who have worked sort of not directly under someone, because it's not like that other therapist is telling them what to do and how to run their sessions,
Yeah.
um, but to work for somebody under in someone's practice, established practice, so that yeah, you're gonna end up paying fees to cover administrative costs, et cetera, and a biller and all that. But you're able to not worry about just doing everything on your own and you have to be like a Swiss Army knife of a person. And some of us, and it just, that's the shit, I suspect. Having to be your own Swiss Army knife, some people love it, some people are really good at it, and some people it shuts me down personally. Because I think of the trying to eat the entire elephant, and I don't know how to eat an elephant, I don't know how to cook an elephant, I don't even know how to trap an elephant, but like I want to eat elephant, like elephant's delicious,
Yeah.
but I don't know how to do it. And so you get so frustrated that you're just like, I give up on the candle flame, the thing that lit me up, because god damn it, every other part of it's so fucking frustrating. Pardon my French. So there are opportunities out there that aren't just you like working for a clinic, let's say like a full-on clinic, or like working private practice. Like I feel like some hybrid version would benefit you, and that's what you're looking for, and they're out there.
We have an update from Irene. My sister just told me that they replanted my mom's roses, and as the heart, that is what she got hospitalized for. Maybe the mouse is all the Mickey Mouse stuff. I'm just curious of the baby you mentioned. Yeah, so the baby. So usually when I see baby energy, it's because either there's a baby that was miscarried, lost, or terminated, or there's a baby they're making reference to. That's like that. There's just a point of it. Like, oh, I know that this person's pregnant, or I know there's a baby born, but she was holding a baby. So I'm thinking there was a baby that was miscarried, lost, or terminated based on the way she was carrying it. So I'm thinking there's a baby connected either to her or to one of y'all that she's acknowledging for y'all. Okay. Glad you were able to validate that. Thank you, Mama.
That could also just be Olivia catching a mouse, that when that popped up.
Let's see. TikTok, TikTok. Here's
Thank you, everyone, for staying with us. We are
Tiara.
rolling out towards the downhill side of this, and so we'll try to get to some questions here. Will public storage? Oh, well, first off, sorry you got your shit stolen, and they should. Without pulling a card, they should.
Yeah. I feel like they're going to. Because I feel like she's going to go back and forth with him. And initially, I feel like the person that she talks to initially is going to forward that over to somebody else who's supposed to kind of like take care of that and run it through to see if they can do it. And then I feel like they may come back and give her a really like they may not say yes, but they may not say no. It's going to feel like they're just going to be essentially telling you nothing that's of use. And then what I think is going to happen is I feel that you're going to end up having to call the corporate office and run it through them, and that seems to initiate another process through the lower part of it to the location to where they have to review some things. But I feel like they're going to cover. They're going to give you an evaluation, and they're gonna cover. They're going to cover it. I believe they're going to cover it. It may not be exactly the amount that you would want, but I think it'll be enough to where they cover what was stolen.
So I don't know. I mean, it's the Ten of Cups, which in this context is generally it's received as a positive card. So in this context, around this question, because it's a pretty straightforward question, it feels like yeah, they are. It will complete the cycle. I mean, Ten of Cups is about like happily ever after with loved ones and relationships and stuff. So I feel like the happily ever after here is they will pay you for it.
You know what's shitty? I think this was an inside job, or I feel like someone had access to it that knew someone
Mm.
that worked there, and that's how they got access to the units. So I feel like the person that stole it, knew one of the people that worked there. That doesn't mean that the person that worked there set it up. I'm just saying, I feel like they knew someone that worked there, and that's how they got access or were able to get access to the units. So, all right.
I mean, good luck though.
Hmm.
Hope you get it back because that ain't right. That's not fair.
Yeah, that's in companies nowadays. They don't even want to cover shit and be like, no, ma'am, there's a contract, and a contract is a
Right. They
contract.
make you sign a 30-page contract to
Yeah.
store some boxes.
Mm.
And then they charge you for the special lock that only they know how to they provide
Mhm.
and only they have a key for.
Yeah. Uh,
Hey,
Marissa.
come over here.
Marissa, I've been told by several brujas that I'm a bruja. Could you tell me more? It's happened 3 times. So she's been told she's a witch by 3 witches.
Well, I feel like so okay, so this reminds me, I'm not even gonna pull up card here because I have no this is partly not my cultural reference. So I can't tell you. But so and I'm stealing this from the West Wing. So, but this is an old like joke, old parable, whatever. So a house, there's a person who lives out in the middle of nowhere and it's by a river. And they get a radio report saying that there is going to be a massive flood and they need to evacuate. And then so they get on the roof because the river starts rising, and they get on the roof, and a boat drives by, and there's a person in the boat being like, "Can I help you down? Can I help you down?" And they're like, "No, no, no! I pray God will take care of me. God is fine. I pray I'll be okay." And the person in the boat's like, "Well, okay." And then the water rises higher up to the roof line, and then a helicopter comes along, and it comes down like, "Hey, hey, hey! Can we help you? Like, do you need help?" And the person stranded on the roof just like, "No, no, no! I pray God will take care of me. It's all going to be okay." So then the flood waters rise higher and that person dies. And they're up at the pearly gates and they're right in front of God. And God says, "What the hell are you doing here? I sent you a radio report. I sent you a person in a boat and a helicopter. Why are you up here? 3 Brujas have told you this. Like, why are you like, listen to them, is my point here. Like, why are you not? Anyway, I'm not going to pull a card. Baby, what do you see?
um, I don't
I
think
also
you're
told the joke wrong, by the way. But
the what?
I told that joke wrong, but it's okay.
Oh, oh, baby, you didn't have a funny joke.
I don't need that. I don't need that pity. You have to that's me.
um, he's actually very funny. So, Marissa, you can take it that way if you want to take it. The thing about it is when people, it depends on the person and where they're coming, what they're coming from perspective wise. Because if a person lives in the ocean and they're like, hey, you can fly in the ocean, you have like fins, you can swim fast. They're seeing it from the perspective of being from the ocean. And if you're talking to a bird in the sky, yeah, you have feathers, you can fly. Like they're seeing it from the perspective that they're coming from. And so because you've been told this by brujas, which are like Mexican witches or Latin American witches, all they're saying is based on what they understand about their own abilities and people who can do what they do, they can see that you have this capacity to essentially manipulate energy and affect energy. But it's not just about that, it's also about sensing things. If you're asking me, being that I'm a psychic and a medium and also a Reiki master, back in the day. I actually think that you are a psychic and you have an affinity for healing. So I feel like you have a special skill that you could tap into if you wanted to develop with healing, but it also would require you to utilize your psychic ability and intuition.
The moral of my tangent with the bad joke was it's not so much that people have told you that that's what you are and should you believe them. Do you want to believe them? Do you want to believe in yourself in this way? If it's something, it may not be, I mean, if it's not interesting to you and people just keep telling you, then like, great, cool. But if it's something that you are interested in pursuing, it's something that you want to believe in yourself, well, the only thing stopping you is you believing in yourself doing it. And then see what happens. And then to follow up to Fernie's thing, beware of anyone. He was talking about like people can tell you you can fly in the ocean, but be careful if they're the ones trying to sell you the fins.
Good, yeah, good point. And they will try to make money off of you. But yeah, yeah, here you go. Esmeralda, will I get back with my husband Sergio this year? What's the energy around their relationship? Is it a match? Is it a good fit?
Well, first and foremost, before I pull the cards, I'm on a real soapbox kind of night. Esmeralda, do you want to get back with Sergio? Why are y'all leaving this up to fate? Like, what do
Because
you
she's
want
used to
out of this?
him. She's used to him. She wants to
I
be with
know, I
Sergio
know.
because that's all she knows. She's like, I put a lot of energy and time. I'm gonna act like Esmeralda. I put a lot of energy and time into this man. Okay, he's not perfect, and yeah, he's got to work on some things, and yeah, we got our
All right,
issues.
stop. Stop. 'Cause I pulled the perfect card. I pulled the perfect card that backs up exactly what I've been trying to say. It's the High Priestess. This is about your own intuition. What do you want? If it's not a good relationship, if it hasn't been a good relationship, then why would you want it back? If it's comfortable, I mean, obviously it's not always as black and white as that, but you're being trust yourself. Only you know. So sometimes it requires not doing anything, but just being, sitting with it and deciding what is it that you want? What is your intuition telling you? Because actually it's not even about intuition, it's what do you want?
I think that yes. The answer to your
I'm
question
very
that I'm
thankful for
thinking is
that.
yes. I think you're going to get back together with him. I'm thinking it'll probably happen. Here's the issue. Even though y'all are split, I almost feel like even though you're technically still married, I feel like both of you may not be operating like you're still married. And because of that, I think that's going to create more complications. And so I think that's something to pay attention to because if you get back together, which I believe you're going to get back together, you got to work through that shit as well. However, I think it'll probably happen by Christmas, but this is not the only time y'all are going to split. This has also not been the only time y'all have had these kinds of splits or issues with each other. I actually think at some point down the road, and I want to say 4 or 5 years, y'all go through the trouble of getting a divorce only to get remarried again about a year and a half or two later. So I'm just like, I'm gonna need y'all to get some counseling so y'all can get through these issues now and not carry this into the future. If he's willing to do the work.
So I pulled an action and I don't like being bossy and telling people what to do, but this is a knife and it's the release card. It means cut away shit that is toxic, that is no longer serving you. It is draw boundaries between things. So you got to use your own sense, girl. I mean this with all love and respect. And if it ain't working, it's not working for a reason. And it's going to take you figuring that out. I'm sorry, it's going to take you figuring out what's not working. And if
Mm.
it's not working, and if it hasn't been working, and if it's going to be up and down and back and forth and on and off, and Ross and Rachel, like Fernie's saying, you got to figure out how to cut that shit out of your life. And by that, or figure out what parts of the relationship you can't deal with anymore. Because this is not, I mean, otherwise you're going to stick this knife in him, perhaps. Or you, like, if it's
Don't
not
do that,
working
girl.
now,
Don't take your
no,
ass
no,
to
don't do
prison.
that. Don't do that.
Don't do
I
it.
was
Ain't
going to say,
worth it.
don't do
It
that.
ain't worth
That ain't
it.
worth it. But look, this pearl is in the shell. Trust yourself. You are the pearl. Give yourself the credit and get rid of the things in your life that aren't working you, that aren't serving you, the patterns, the habits, sometimes the relationships or the aspects, or get in there like a surgeon and cut out the parts that aren't healthy. But that's on you. And again, going back to what I said before I even pulled a card, what do you want to do? Is the relationship working? We're not
Mm.
telling you, I mean, and it's not like it's either one side's fault. It's probably you both are creating this conflict and friction, but you got to address it because it's just going to keep coming up. And part of that is you got to find your own, listen to yourself, trust yourself, trust yourself.
All right, sugar addicts. If
I'm
you
very
type this,
salty and salty tonight, y'all.
sugar
I need some
addicts, if you
ice
type
cream.
it one more time. All right. So I'm getting an M name, like an M-A. How do you connect with an M name for your father-in-law? This is what I mean by don't give too much information, because when you
Oh,
are telling too much, it is gonna. It's. I'm trying to validate, and I want to give you information that can help prove to you that he is with you and that he's communicating with me. But when you go to mediums and you're sharing that kind of information, it's keeping you from having that validation. So you got to be careful, because this may not be the only time you talk to a medium. Just want to tell you. Okay. With that being said, he's doing something funny. He is like showing me like I don't know if it's a toy gun or like a gun, or if it's actually a gun, but he's going pew pew. So I don't know if there was a joke about him pointing and there's like a pew pew joke, but he's showing me something like that. Unless y'all have his gun and he's making a joke about it. But there's something there he's making reference to. He's also talking about the number two. So I want to say that the second of a month or two is significant. She's like, I do connect with an M. Of course you do, because you told me his name is Mason, girl. Pay attention to what I'm saying. I was using that as a joke. I was being sarcastic when I was saying that, but that's unless you're being sarcastic with me too, which I get it. Okay, but back to what I was just saying. So the pew pew thing, he's showing me that, and then the other thing that he's showing me the number two. So I think either the second of a month is significant or the month of February is connected, because there's a reference there. He's showing me his leg. His birthday was August 2nd. Thank you. He's showing me his leg. I don't know if one of his legs was really like swollen and messed up compared to the other one, or there was something weird going on with one of his legs and the way that it looked, because it just doesn't look, almost looks like like whenever there's an infection, or whenever someone's, when you hear someone and they got like diabetes, or they're starting to deal with issues where it starts to cause issues in their legs and circulation. That's the vibe he's giving me. So there's something there that my birthday is also February. Got it. So he's also showing me that thing about the legs. So that's another thing to be aware of. Santos. Do you know if there's a Santos or Santos, Santiago? I feel like I'm reminded of like a Hispanic Santos. That doesn't mean it's Hispanic, but I'm getting that as a reference. Do you know if there's a Santos or San? There's a San. Yes, he had diabetes and issues. Okay. Do you know about the leg issue or the swelling and also the infection? Let me use these because I'm gonna go back to what she's putting here. Um, okay, cool. And she did say here, which is great. Um, okay, August 2nd. Okay, she says another M name. Yeah, but that was just a joke, but that's okay. Um, and then her birthday is February 2nd. But I think it's more to do with his passing. And yes, he did have diabetes and issues. Okay. Um, I believe he did. I know for sure an infection. Okay. Here's the thing. The leg issue, even if because I feel like there was two places that there was infections. I do think there was an infection or some sort of a weird clot that occurred there, but I also think there was an infection that caused, well, actually I feel like there was sepsis, and he started to suffer from sepsis, because I'm also seeing like liver failure and kidney failure, and I'm seeing all that starting to kick in. So I'm seeing those kinds of situations as well. So just FYI with that. He also, do you know what the pew pew or the gun joke is? In a way, it's like when I think of this gun, it's almost reminding me of like a kid, like when you play with a little kid and you're doing pew pew and like you're gonna shoot them or whatever. He's doing that. So I don't know if there's a joke that he's making reference to about that. Come on, turbo fingers. Okay. Yes, he had all of those problems. Okay. Now, do you know about the pew pew? I keep wanting to say pew pew, like whenever like you're like playing with the kid or like pew pew, like but I'm also not to sound when I thought of that, I also thought about when people fart and they make a joke about it, pew pew. Um,
Or like pull my finger.
like that, right? But like with the gun, pew pew. I don't know about the gun, but I'll have to ask my husband, or maybe because I have a gun and I'm terrified to shoot it. I don't think it's about your gun or that he's like making fun of you having issues with shooting your gun. I think he's referring to a joke or like a reference to his joke. Also, he is acknowledging. Um, he is acknowledging. Yes, he did pull my finger and fart. Okay. Now there's a pew pew joke that goes along with that. So there might be another joke with the son about the pew pew. Like if both of them were farting and there was like the fart and the shooting, but it was a fart and not a gunshot. Like there's a joke he's making reference to. Okay. She's like, I'm not like, also he's proud of his son, but it's one thing when you are trying to not give up, when you're trying to like hang in there. And I think he's referring to his son and your husband and his job. It's one thing when you're trying to hang in there and like you're trying to prove a point, you're trying to like go past the point of like you should just stop, or it's okay if you want to just try something else. I almost feel like he's giving his son permission to not have to follow through with the amount of pressure that he feels with his work right now. So I feel like he's trying to give him permission to like, it's okay if you want to back away from that, or if you don't want to keep putting yourself through that. Because sometimes promises get broken. And if someone's not following through, or if the company is not following through what they initially had said, I feel like it's okay. You don't have to keep sticking with something if it's not ideally working. That doesn't mean he should just go and quit and then not have a job. What I'm saying is it's okay. If he wants to look for something else, he doesn't have to keep trying to force himself to make something work that may not be ideally working, and he's not getting the payback that he was maybe promised or that he expected. So hopefully that helps y'all. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Okay. Yeah. He just took a new position at work because he's been doing two positions and he's exhausted. Yeah. They, I don't know if there's a delay with the payments or with like, how sometimes they do back pay or they like wait a while before they actually give you your raise. I feel like, they may not follow through with what they said. And I mean, two positions at the same time. And now he got a new position. That still may not be ideal and that still may not work. And he may still be exhausted. And it's like, he's trying to be a trooper about it, but it's just, he might have to consider other alternatives. And I actually think there's a buddy or a friend that's been trying to get him to come and join them with their company. And he might really need to reassess that. And that might come back up again in December when he's really tired with the current situation in his current job. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay. All right. We're going to do a couple more.
Yeah.
More. Okay. Let's see.
While we're doing that, we'll do the occasional plug. Like, follow, subscribe to all of our things that are right up here. Mine are above my head. His are, well, I think I can reach over. His are right above that on his chest. Also, he wrote a great book. Y'all should order it. It's both hardcover and paperback. So, depending on what you want. Like, share, hearts, send it to people. I'm an old Gen Xer, so I don't always understand how this stuff works. So, but just do it anyway.
Yeah, she just validated the last piece. Yeah, he's got a new position and still doing the opposition. His old boss wants him to come back. Yeah, it's okay if he wants to go back. It's okay if he wants to go back. So I think his dad is giving him permission. Again, he's telling him he's proud of him. Like it's he's proven himself. So he doesn't need to keep proving himself. Okay. Okay, going over here. Hi, Mama333. Hi, Ferny. I am currently working on a stressful project at work. When do you see me getting a new role at work? March. It's funny because 333 is your call sign there, but three spring. I think spring, you get a new role. Um, Interestingly enough, it's similar to the guy that I was just reading for, where you might still be taking on the workload of the old role while you're also doing the new role at the same time. But it feels like the third month or March might be a time frame for that. Do you see any change with her job, baby?
Page of Swords, which I really love for you, actually. I again, I can't give you necessarily a time frame on it. But the page is mastery over the element, but it also has like the fun, like the youthful kid energy, kind of like we were talking about, like the pew 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 game, which maybe wasn't a thing. Um, but like whatever this new thing is going to be, you're going to like dig into it. This is sort of like the literal student card. And it's a student who, it's the kid who sits in the front of class and like raises their hand all the time and just loves that class. So I love that this is a lot of like, there's new energy, but also because it's the page, there's a mastery. So you're going to be doing something that you already know how to do and already love. And you're really just going to like do it. Enjoy the newness of it. Enjoy the new task. Enjoy, because swords are around our mental realm. So like, yeah, you're going to be thinking new thoughts. You're going to be communicating in new ways. New ideas are going to come to you. You're going to feel very creative and it's very alive. And we want that for you. I can't necessarily tell you the time on it, but I do like what that says around, like look at this little person, like got their sword and ready to just like, I'm going into battle, like, wee, total like kid excitement energy. So I want that for you. But as far as timing, no. But like, good luck. And also, it sucks that your current place is stressful. So I really would love if you got into something that you're going to enjoy a lot more, something new.
Okay, Lupe, will I be able to move out soon? Any change in residence, babe? Any change in locations or places of residence? By the way, guys, if you can please share this video feed, and also lots of hearts would be grateful for that, and also don't forget to follow us as well. Um, that would help.
Okay, Nine of Wands, which tells me you are so Wands fire suit. So this is around your energetic realm. You're feeling the Ten of Wands is about burnout and about doing too much and taking on too much. And so the nine is almost in that place. You're still doing it, but like, so the moving out is the rose, and you're working your way towards the rose. But man, there are obstacles ahead. There's maybe like this one is often that there's like one big challenge left to face. So asking around if you're moving out soon, this doesn't feel like it's soon, but it is also a nine, and in tarot, the tarot is about cycles, and the suits are numbered ace through 10, and that ace through 10 represents a cycle. So that we're at a nine tells me that you're almost to the end of the road. You have like a big hurdle to still overcome, but don't lose your fire. Don't lose track. It may be hard to keep your eye on the rose, which is your goal here of getting out. You may get lost in the weeds, but just keep an eye on the rose and know that you may have to just you still have some work to go. So it feels like not quite soon, but keep working at it. It will happen.
Um, no, I don't think you're gonna be moving out soon. Be careful with prioritizing any kind of romantic relationship, even if it's like an ex relationship that you're still dealing with the like fallout of. Because what I can see happening is sometimes when we are trying to focus on our own goals and we are working towards that, but then we try to work with people who are maybe trying to get in on that, or we're trying to use people that we've had a romantic association with as a way out. Just be careful, because I keep seeing this weird interaction with a romantic connection around this. So if it's
Oh,
possible,
so
like
the
if you find
rose.
it, yeah. So like if you find a way out, but it's moving in with somebody that you're just doing it to
Yeah.
like to make that happen, so you can get out of where you're at, and you're doing it in a way where you're doing it with this person, that may not work to your advantage, and then you find yourself back where you were all over again, and then you have to start the process of prioritizing yourself. If you're gonna move out, make it about you and what you want, and not about the needs of a relationship, because if not, you're going to repeat a cycle. I don't actually see you moving out to where you're on your own and able to support that and sustain that until the end of, you're going to hate my answer, until the end of 2027. So that's a long time in my opinion.
I pulled for an action spiritual cleansing.
Mm,
So this is about being stuck where you are and dealing with it. And part of the dealing with it is clearing out all of the energy. Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck in old patterns, old energies. You might be where you're at for a while. So take care of your spiritual energy so that you don't get burned out, so that you don't get distracted. Now the rose is making a little bit of sense in that, the wand should be shooting off fire or shooting off magic, but suddenly there's a rose growing out of it. So you're potentially losing sight of what your goal is. And so do what you can, like cleanse out all of the stuff.
yeah.
And keep your eyes on the prize, on the goal. And it may not, you're not there yet, but you will get there. You will get there. You're just not there yet.
Yeah. All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging in with us. We've been here for quite a while now, so we are jumping off. Um,
Yeah.
but we love you all. Thanks for tuning, and don't forget to follow us if you're not already following us, because we are going to be doing these more often. So make sure that you like and subscribe and share. You're welcome, Mama. You're welcome, people. You're welcome, Holly. And we will be back soon. All right.
Right. And we both have newsletters. So
Oh yeah.
if you want to receive them, if you aren't on our mailing list already,
Yeah.
I just sent mine out today. Ferno will probably send his out in like a week or two, I bet. Where there's news, there's thoughts about what's going on, as well as like sometimes some not specials, but like things that services we provide. Again, if you just like curious about what our deal is, if you don't know us, then sign up, go to our websites and just sign up for the newsletter. It's
Yeah.
like once a month. It's not, it's one email once a month. We don't spam you too much.
Yeah.
Right? I don't, babe. Do you spam too much?
Yeah.
Not that your newsletters are spammed. I
No,
enjoy them.
no. Jennifer, bye,
I do.
Felicia. Don't answer me. I won't. And I'm about to screen record your comment just so that I can put you on my do not call list. That's what I'm about to do. So check the attitudes before y'all get in here, folks.
Wait, do you know who that is? Is that a friend?
No, I don't know. I don't know who that is. Bye, Felicia.
All right.
All right, guys. Talk to y'all later.
Bye,
Bye.
all. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.